Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles, and welcome to City Skylines. So, the Steam Network has a sale going on, and you can get the base game of City Skylines for $7.49, and yeah, it's a good price for what you get. So, I just figured I would give you a little tutorial on how to start, what it all means. This is really a noob tutorial. So let's go ahead, jump in, and get started. Alright guys, so you just bought the game and you have no clue what to do or where to get started. So you're going to start off with a map, and this is Black Woods. It's with the base game, and you have a dotted line in a square, and that is your first tile, and that's all the place you're going to have for building your city to start with. Eventually, you'll get areas, and it'll unlock 9 tiles. It'll start with milestones, so every time you hit a milestone is hit with population. So once you hit a certain population, the milestones will open. So here's our populations. So this is Little Hamlet, and this will be different sometimes on each map, depending on buildable space. So every time you hit a milestone, you'll get different things. This gives you a new area. This is Tiny Town. Then you get another new area. So you'll be able to unlock these tiles as you move along in the game. Another thing is you'll get $70,000 to start. So that's important because you're going to keep an eye on that as you start building, so you don't lose money. I always try to keep a little bit of a cushion of maybe $10,000 in case something goes wrong. Down here is your demand bar. So you're going to have a residential demand, a commercial demand, and an industry demand. Right now, our residential demand is very high because we have not placed any residential space. And once you do that and all the residents start filling in, the commercial bar and the industry bar will start going up. Next, we have our roads bar. So now our roads bar is there because we get 1 road to start. It's very silly, but once you place a little piece of this road, it could just be 40 right there, cost of 40, and delete it, it'll unlock other roads. So you can either do that, or you can place your first road and upgrade it. So with roads, we have these tools over here, and we have an elevation step, we have a straight, curve, a freeform, and an upgrade. So right now, let's go ahead and just draw in our first road. I'm going to go in between the 2 highway roads that we have, and I'm just going to draw a straight line 40 units down. Now what 40 units is, with each line that is 10. So if I go down 4 lines, that's 40. Once I click it, you'll see these little nodes appear now. These nodes are where a section of the road is. Those are important sometimes. They kind of snap to them, but you can also put your road anywhere in between. As soon as you get too close to a node though, it will pop to the node. Next, we opened up our 2-lane one-way, and we also opened up a gravel. If we go to our medium roads, we unlocked a 4-lane road. Large roads are 6-lane. We don't have any highways, but we do have a roundabout. So I'm just going to go into a medium-sized road, and these are more expensive, but I'm just going to upgrade this road here because it probably will get heavily used later on, and I could upgrade this to a 6-lane. And if I do zone on it, let me just show you, the zoning will be a lot different than the 2-lane. Because of the fact that it's a wider road. So just keep that in mind. If you upgrade from a thinner road to a wider road, it will ruin all the buildings that are already there. Next, let's go ahead and connect our one-way to the highway to get our residents and trucks in. So now we're set up to have people come into the city and leave the city. Now, if for any reason these arrows are turned in the opposite direction, you click your upgrade tool and you click the right button and it'll switch the direction. So now you're set. So let's go ahead and look at zoning. Down here is our zoning bar. We have residential, commercial, and industrial. These bars will change throughout the game as people and needs come in. So right now, we just need people to move into our city, and then the commercial will be needed for people to get groceries and stuff like that. And then our industrial need will go up because we have commercial that needs goods to get to them. So residential and industry do not mix well. People get sick, it's a lot of pollution, and you don't want to zone those two together. Commercial, on the other hand, likes to be in the middle. So it needs industrial, will not get sick for goods. So you can put commercial next to industrial, but people also need goods. So the people are going to go shopping to get their commercial items on their commercial road, and then industrial needs to be close by to deliver those goods to the commercial. Okay, so now that we want to put in a commercial road, if I was to put this 10 units, it's going to be short by a little bit because this is actually wider than it would be here. So this is only going to give me 3 on the other side. So if I do want extra or even a space in between, you're going to want to come out by either 11 or 12. This way when you zone here, that's going to give us right up against the edge there. And if you zone in these thinner roads, that's going to give you a little bit of a space. Now if I zoned it right up against it, that would be the 11. So anyway, we're going to come down by 1, 2, 3, let's go by 50 units right there. Next, I'm going to go into gravel roads because they are half the price and they could be upgraded later on. I'm going to take this back. I'm going to take this back by 12. Going to give us a little bit of space, like I said, between the commercial and the residential. Not that they pollute, but they do give off noise pollution. So we do like to leave a little bit of space between there. And I'm just going to draw in some residential roads. So now we're pretty much set with commercial, residential, and we do need industry. So I'm going to make this pretty close by so we can get the goods to the residents, but not too close to get them sick. So that's pretty good proximity between our residents and our commercial and our industry. Next, we have the roads laid out. This is our zoning tool, but before we zone, let's go ahead and go into electricity. So we have some options. Here's our power lines. They need to be connected to our industry, to our residents, and our commercial. We have a wind turbine, which you need certain spaces that are colored in blue to get the most out of those. Those are the most windy spots. And if you put them in the lighter zones, you don't get a lot of megawatts. Now, the most it can give off is 8, and the least, I think, is 2 or 3, maybe 0. There you go. There's a 2. So I like to rely on the coal power plant. It's a lot more money, but the output is 40 megawatts, and it lasts quite a while before you have to upgrade or add to it. So I'm going to put that over here in our industrial area. So the blue around it shows you the electric. And once you put this in, this will carry our electric to our residents and to our commercial. Now, once our residents come in, it should spread building to building down to the commercial. So that should be enough to get us there. Now I'm just going to come back behind here because we're going to get to water in a minute. So next, let's jump into water. So we do have water pipes. We do have a water pumping station. That's for people showering, drinking water. Same thing with our water tower, clean water. Then we have our drain pipe. That's sewer. So we never want to mix the two together because that would make our citizens super sick. Let's jump out of here and get a little bit wider view of our map. So when you click on the water and you click on the pumping stations, you'll see the arrows going with the water flow. So over here is standing water. There's no real flow to this water at all. So you never want to put the drain pipe over here and your water intake over here. If you do, the sewage is going to flow this way and get all your citizens sick. So for now, let's just go ahead and put this down in here. So now all our sewer water is going to drain this way, and anywhere we put this should be completely fine because the sewer is all the way over here and going in that direction. Now if these arrows were going this direction and coming this way, that could be a problem. So I'm going to put the pumping station somewhere over here for now, and now we're going to grab our pipes. So I'm just going to start running some pipes along the roads, and I'm going to make my first one right here. So I'm going to come down by 460, and that gives me perfect coverage every time. I'm going to come over here, go back up by 460, and as long as you're on that 90 degree, you should be completely fine to put in 460. So I'm just going to take that here and connect it to our drain pipe. Next, I'm just going to make sure all our residents are covered with the water, and once they're all covered like that, that's fine. Next, we have to connect this up to our pumping station like that. So now all our water is pretty much set up to start the city, except for our electric. So we did run our electric back here. So we can run this down and straight to here. So now we have power to our water here. And next we need to do the same thing over here. So now both our water is connected to the electric. Our citizens will be connected to the electric. And the next thing we're going to need to do is go into our economy. So we have a budget for nighttime and daytime. Right now we're only on daytime, so we just need to click the top one. And we're going to put this down to 50%. 50% is plenty for now because we don't have anybody in here. And that should last a little while before we need to turn that up. Next, we're going to go into zoning. So now here, I talked about the zoning bar. Here's our zoning. So right here, we have low density residential, low density commercial, and industry. So to start, let's go ahead and put in some residential zoning. So we can either fill this, we can marquee select this, or we could paint this. This is our small brush, this is our large brush. So most of the time I like to use the marquee select, and I'm just going to select all of this to here. We do have a large demand for residential. And if you notice, again, our spaces are only 4 deep, and the biggest buildings we get are 4 by 4. The smallest are 1 by 1. So keep that in mind. You can definitely zone it in, let's just take a look, like that, and like that. And electric will catch, even with 2 by 2s and 3 by 3s. So now you just saw me make the zoning disappear, and that's because I right clicked. So if you're in here on any one of these and you right click, it'll take away. If you want to just do it like this with the paint, this is dezoning. So right now I think we're good. We're going to keep it all zoned in for now, and maybe just place a walking path, which is 1 wide, and like that. When we open up walking paths, that'll allow us to put a bike path, a walking path. We could even do 2 spaces to put in walking paths or bike paths or both. Now I did leave this one off of here too. Sometimes I like putting walking paths here. And next, let's jump into commercial. We're gonna just zone in, we'll just do 1. Maybe we'll do half. And we'll do the other side because sometimes it's a little too much. We don't need it right away. And let's go down to industry, and I think we'll fill out a full one of these. Now let's go into electric. So by looking here, you'll see that our industry will be covered by this blue space. Our residents will be covered by the power lines, and the residents will pull the electric to the commercial. So the only other thing I did not show you is our bulldozer that will delete things. So once it's activated, you'll see this, and you'll be able to delete a road, delete a tree, anything you like with that. The other thing I did not show you is our info view. Now, if I click this, it has a lot of information about our city. So just for instance, let's click on electric. So right now we have nothing going on. So no production is there because we didn't turn the game on. Once it turns on, it'll show you how much electric we have and how much is being consumed. Same with water, same with even education, our happiness. It'll show you so many things, traffic. So we'll worry more about that when we get further in the game, but let's go ahead and start up the game. Start up the game, you can go over to here and you could do 1 speed, 2 speeds, or 3 speeds. So we'll turn it on 3 speed for now, and we do have about $20,000 left in the bank. So as you can see, we're starting to get some of these things going on in here. So this is sewage and this is electric. Let's jump in and see why that's happening. Our electric is hooked up here, but it has not caught right just yet. It will connect soon. Why our sewage is not working? Let's make sure that everything is connected that way. A water pump is connected there, and it's still complaining about sewage. And I see the problem. Here to here is not connected. So those are the little things that pop up, and that's why it's always good to keep a cushion in your bank to fix those little issues. If you leave yourself with no money, you definitely go into the negative first. We are actually making a positive, and we hit our milestone. So that is super good to know. So now we've opened up taxes, loans, garbage, healthcare, and education. So 2 of these are really important right now. We don't need a loan. We're doing quite well. We actually gained some money. We have taxes and garbage. Those are super important. So let's jump into garbage. Garbage is right here, and we have a landfill. So we're going to pop that landfill right here because they are going to complain about garbage immediately. Next, we're going to go to taxes. We're going to go ahead and turn those taxes up to 12. So they start off on 9, but we can pump them up to 12 very easily, and they don't complain. We do want to make money. Now, if we did need a loan, it would be in the same tab right here. But right now, we're good. And if you noticed, our game slowed down to 1 speed. And if you would like to accelerate that, you do have to press again to accelerate. So now we did unlock healthcare and we did unlock schools. So let's go into healthcare. Healthcare is going to cost us 10,000. So I think we're pretty good with money. So I don't see why we could not put in healthcare. I'm going to stick one right there. Now it did look like our electric was dipping because that little sign was popping up. And yeah, we're getting a little low. So we're going to go back into our economy, go into our budget and turn that up. Next, we're going to go into schools. Schools, we have the elementary available right now. And we have 103 eligible. So let's go ahead. Those cost, I think it costs 10,000. Yep, we're going to pop one of those in. So now we're about down to 17,000. Not bad. We still have people moving in. Wow, we hit another milestone. All right, we'll deal with the milestone in 1 second. Let's go ahead and add that commercial. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more industry. There we go. And let's add a road or two. Now don't forget, once you put your roads in, you're going to have to check your water coverage again, which we need water coverage. I'm going to come down by the 460, and that should cover everybody. All right, so since we hit that milestone, we slowed down again. We're going to speed it up and go back into the milestone. So now something very important we need to put in is emergency services and police. So let's go ahead and get into that. So we're going to have to go into fire. We're going to add our fire department, and then we're going to go into police and add a police department. If you don't do that, you will have crime like crazy. No lie. Okay, so our residential demand has gone up significantly. Let's go ahead and jump in and add more residents. Now, I am playing on 3-speed just to get this tutorial up and running. It's to kind of just help out. You can play on 3-speed, you could play on 1-speed. It's all entirely up to you. You don't have to go this quickly, but yeah, I just am doing it for the tutorial purpose. Money is still coming in quite nicely. All right, so now we hit Tiny Town. Tiny Town gives us a whole bunch of stuff. So the one thing we did not look at with Worthy Village is policies, and we did get a second loan. And we have some district specializations where you can add forestry, farming, self-sufficient buildings, and local and organic. So many new things. And we got new, obviously, the police and fire. Next, with this new one, we have a whole bunch of different things. Parks, walking paths, industrial roads, canals. It's so much fun. So much new stuff to put in. But with this one, what I like to take a look at it is districts. So now we can actually paint a district around here. And this will tell us a lot of different stats. So let's just take a look. So now that we painted our district, you can click on the district and you can make policies per district or policies throughout the whole city. So we have a lot of different policies. I'm not really going to touch on any of these. Once we open recycling, we will probably put in a recycling plant and use the recycling. But right now, we're not going to use any of the policies. So same goes to here. Another tab we have is themes. All right, so once we open up themes, we can enable themes for different districts. So we have European suburbia, international, so many different ones that we have. Right now, we're just going to keep what we have. And another thing you could see is your stats. So it tells you how many children are in the area, what your population is in this area. So it gives you a lot of different things that you would like to look at. It gives you your traffic routes, so you can see how many are cyclists and private vehicles, all that stuff. So we're going to get out of that view. And as you can see, our water is starting to go low. So we're going to have to go back into the economy, turn up the water. We're going to go up to the electric while we're here because I'm sure they'll need that as well soon, and that should clear up. I'm going to put this back on fast forward, and let's just take a look at our high schools. So now we have high schools available, and we do have 63 eligible. So we could either hold off or we can actually include them. So I'm thinking, why not build one? We're doing pretty decent with money. They are expensive. They're $24,000, but I think we're doing pretty good, and it'll help our citizens. The next thing we're going to look at is parks. Parks raise your land value. So as you can see, there's definitely no parks in here. One of the cheapest parks you can get is the small park, which is 1,000, but it covers a pretty wide area, as you can see. So I'm gonna throw in a few parks, one here, maybe one back in here. And because they only cost 1,000, it's not bad at all. Some of these can get quite expensive. We have basketball courts. They cost 4,000. Not too bad, but a lot more. You could put 4 of the little parks in for that price. We also have plazas. They go very nicely, especially in your commercial areas and stuff like that. And then we have playgrounds. So we have little small playgrounds. Let's see if we could stick one of these over in here. That should start turning that. And let's do another park, a big park. This one is actually 5,000, but I think that would look really good. Actually, let's go with the small one. Let's just do that here. So now that we've taken care of all the parks and our city land value is going up, we could also go into the plazas and use one of these. Now that's 15,000. We definitely don't want to use that. This is only 1,000, but we could put this in our industrial area and they're pretty happy about it. So now let's go into our information view. Now that we have that, we could see how our citizens are doing, how they're feeling, industrial happiness, commercial happiness, all that. We could see our pollution. We could see our noise pollution. And another thing you want to look at is your land values. So we're doing okay. It's not bad. But once we upgrade these roads, these people are going to start upgrading. So let's take a look at that. So we are making a decent amount of money now that we can upgrade these roads to a nicer road than these gravel roads. So we're going to go back to the beginning here. We're going to click the upgrade button and we're just going to upgrade these roads and see where everybody's getting happy. Let's come over to here. These guys have been here a while, driving on all this gravel roads, probably taking a toll on their cars as well. They're probably not happy about that. And yeah, this will make them really happy. So now that we paved all their roads, let's come down, we'll pave their roads. And this is definitely going to help. Alright, so we're doing quite well. Our demand is pretty even all the way across the board, which means we pretty much need to make a new neighborhood, and we definitely can zone in for more industrial. Now, if we look around, do we have any farming anywhere? We do on the other side of this, some over in here. Yeah, why don't we open up a tile? So we haven't done that yet. Let's go into areas. If I click here, now it has to be an adjacent tile, so it can't be a corner one here. So if I click this one, it's 7,400. That one's 5,000, 5,001, 5,005. But I really want this one. Why? Because it has a little farming on there, but so does this, but it's not connected. Although we could do a bridge, which costs more money. There's a lot of reasons why and why not, but I do want to pick this one. So we chose that tile, and now we can spread out this way. Now I definitely don't want to put an industry in here, but this land right in here is fertile land for farming. So let's go ahead and take a look at our natural resources. So everything here was fertile for farming. We do have some forestry, which is the green. Black is oil, and the ore is blue. So right now, we're pretty good with what we have, but now we can move a little bit farther back into here. So now, say I did want to put in farming. What you would do is, you would district this out, just like this, and make a district. Then you would go into your second tab, which is Industrial Specialization, and you would click on the farming, and you would click there, and now anything you zone in here with industrial, the yellow, will be farming. So it won't pollute, but it will still be industry. It'll still make a lot of noise, and it'll still be super close to your citizens, so you may or may not want to use that option. It's up to you, but you know what, for this sake, let me just show you what will happen if we zone in some farming. So here, I'm just going to put a little road here. We're definitely going to have to connect this to our outside connections. So let's just come down. I don't want to connect it up to our residential just yet. We might put a little path, maybe at the end of here. Reason being, they have to get to work, so it'll make it easy for them to get there. And let's just put a little line here. There we go. So now let's go ahead and zone in some industry, just for this purpose of showing you. Now we are going to need water. There we go. And we are going to need electric. So let's take a closer look at this. Now, as you can see, we are not creating a lot of pollution. This is nice farming, and it just looks really nice. It's such a great option to use your farming over your pollution. You do need goods, but this you can maybe move away later on and create a different area for your polluting industry. Now, we do have a huge demand for residential, so let's go ahead and draw in a couple of more roads and add a little bit more residence to our area. So now our electric is starting to go a little low. We're super close to our milestone. I think for now, let's just go into our budget. Let's just raise this up a little. Oh, well, we hit our milestone, so it doesn't really matter. So now we have access to a lot more things again. So as I was going to show you before, if you go into economy, you can crank this budget up to 150, and that should take care of your electric problem for a little longer before you would actually need to put anything in. Alright, so I think we're going to leave this episode off here. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you and that you'll be able to start your own city and be successful and make money from the beginning. We never ran out of money. In fact, we never even came close. And if you could, give me a like, a subscribe. It is always appreciated. If you like more stuff like this, let me know what you would like to see, a tutorial on anything. I will be happy to do it. So I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.